In this week's episode of the Swearwolves podcast, David and I discuss the 1989 film Fright Night, Part 2.
We'll begin with a reign of terror. A few murders here and there.
Welcome back to the Swearwolves. I'm Brett.
I'm David.
David.
Yes, sir.
How's it going, pal?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm doing well. David, you are actually venturing off to California.
I am. Yeah, this
coming
Friday
weekend.
I'll be driving out there to Burbank.
Not too far of a drive for you, to Son of Monster Palooza.
Yeah, and so if you're going to be out there too, listeners,
I'm not going to be out
Brett
there.
is not going, so that might change your opinion on whether or not you want to see me.
Yeah, you probably.
I'll be
wanna go
Brettless.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you want to meet me, or meet up or whatever, come find me.
Who are you looking forward to seeing at this Son of Monster Palooza?
Oh man, let's see. I got a list, but off the top of my head, I want some people. There are a lot of people that I've actually already met because I got that Halloween pinball machine. I'm gonna actually bring the back glass, which is gonna be a real pain in the ass to lug around. But I'm gonna get Nick Castle, PJ Souls, Sandy Johnson, and Tommy Lee Wallace on it. So that'll be cool. And then I got a couple posters.
Will Sandin.
I'm not going to meet him because he's only going to be on Sunday.
Oh, he's only
and I'm
gonna
just
be there
going Friday
Sunday.
and Saturday.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm mainly just going Friday. Like I'm going to do the bulk of my stuff Friday night, and then Saturday. As of right now, I'm going just to get PJ Souls because she's only on Saturday, and then I'm going to probably drive back early afternoon.
It's a good plan.
And then I can't remember. There's a couple people. Chris Nelson, I was going to get on my Halloween 2018 poster. Sybil Danning's going to be there. I'll get her on my Rob Zombies Halloween. Tom Atkins and Stacey Nelkin, I'll get them on my Halloween 3, along with Tommy Lee Wallace, who directed the movie. I'll have them sign your poster 3 as well. So a lot of Halloween stuff now that I think about it. Am I only taking Halloween shit? That's weird.
Like
I'll got to look at the list later. Maybe there's some other people I'm forgetting, but as of right now, this is going to be a Halloween trip.
That kind of coincides with the movie we're talking about today, not because we're talking about a Halloween movie, but we're talking about a movie written and directed by Tommy Lee Wallace.
Yeah, which I didn't even know when I picked this that he had directed it. I didn't realize that until I was putting together my notes.
Yeah. Had you ever seen this movie?
No. This is a movie I've been wanting to see for a while. And it's, oddly enough, it's a movie I've heard very little about. Like, I know the sequel exists, but I haven't really heard anybody say much about it. So I'll be honest, I went into this movie assuming that I was not going to like it because I had not really heard anything about it. I was like, this movie probably sucks.
Fright Night 2 is the movie we're talking about. And it's a movie that used to come on TV actually quite a bit.
So have you seen it?
No, I had seen parts of it.
Okay.
From the television or televised versions of this, but I had never seen the movie in its entirety until recently. So, yes, I went into it kind of with an open mind as well, but also an understanding that if I hadn't heard a lot about it, was
usually not a good sign
because there was a reason behind it.
Right.
Fright Night Part 2 from 1988, 89. It says 88, but it was released in America in 89. The actual release date was May 19th, 1989. What was the number one movie in the theater? May 19th, 1989.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it was not this film. So I'm going to go with The Wizard with Ben Savage.
Fred Savage. And Jenny Lewis. And Lucas Haas, I believe, and Christian Slater, and Beau Bridges. God, I just named off the entire cast.
Boom. Big fan.
I loved that movie when it came out.
I did
primarily because you got to see Super Mario Brothers 3
and the Power Glove.
And the Power Glove. But Super Mario Brothers 3 was like the game that I wanted, and I got it for my birthday that summer. In June.
Yeah, I got it that summer
was not
too.
the number one. That was not the number one movie,
Damn. Well, it was number one in our hearts.
It was. It would have been number one had I had anything to do with it. By the way, that movie sucks. But
yeah, I saw it not that long ago, and I was like, yeah, this movie doesn't hold up.
It blows. The number one movie in the theater was See No Evil, Hear No Evil.
Oh, okay. Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder?
Yeah.
I never saw that movie, but I remember wanting to see it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But
I think it was it rated R? Because I think I wanted to see it. My parents were like, absolutely not.
Yeah, I probably wanted to see it. My parents were like, no. Because it looks dumb.
This is Richard Pryor and there's going to be a lot of F-bombs.
My parents didn't even care about that because
I didn't give a shit.
I saw the movie Stir Crazy, and I saw Richard Pryor stuff other than that. You know what one of my favorite movies was as a kid? The Toy.
You know, I don't know if I ever saw that, but I remember the box. Like, dude. He's like a little puppet guy, right?
Yeah, I think so. And it stars Jackie Gleason and the kid who plays the fucker who gets his tongue stuck. Duck.
Oh, fucking Farkas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never saw that, but you know what a Richard Pryor movie I liked as a kid was Brewster's Millions.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor.
R.I.P. Richard Pryor.
R.I.P.
You funny bastard.
He was funny. Number one song.
I'm going to go with Miss You Much by Janet Jackson. I miss you much,
God,
baby.
Are you playing the Janet Jackson song right now? Sounds exactly like her.
Believe it or not, Brett, that was me doing the vocalizations of one Janet Jackson.
Well, that was good and all, but it wasn't the number one song. The number one song was by a little band out of New Jersey.
Bon Jovi?
Bon Jovi. And it's 5 words that I'll say to you. I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you. These 5 words I swear to you. When you breathe, I want to be the air for you. I'll be there for you. I'll live and I'll die for you.
Man, we got to get a Bon Jovi Janet Jackson duet going.
Yeah, I'll be there for you by Bon Jovi. That's the number one song. I don't got much to say about Bon Jovi. I was never a really big fan.
I mean, a very brief Bon Jovi phase, but very, very brief.
Yeah. I say I wasn't a big fan, but yet I know all the lyrics. But you know why? Is because
that's true of like a lot of their songs. It's like, yeah, you know, I know all the hits.
Yeah.
I ain't going to go out and buy any of their albums or anything.
But I mean, like back in the day, I listened to the radio all the fucking time. And
yeah, Bon Jovi was always on.
And MTV. I watched MTV and the songs were always on.
Yep.
It was different.
It was different times.
Back to Fright Night Part 2. Fright Night Part 2 was written by Tommy Lee Wallace, Tim Metcalf, and Miguel Tejeda Flores. You like that?
It was nice. Good accent.
Thank you. Directed by Tommy Lee Wallace with music by Brad Fiedel, who I think that's how you Fiedel. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he did a lot of stuff for James Cameron.
Oh, okay.
Like Terminator, Terminator 2, like I think all the James Cameron stuff pretty much. The movie was produced by Herb Jaffe and Mort Engelberg. By the way, Mort Engelberg, if you're going to be a movie producer, that's your name.
That's a cool ass name.
You're either a movie producer or you're somebody's agent. Hey, I'm Mort Engelberg. I'm the agent.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you got to call Morty for that.
Yeah.
I don't deal with any of that shit. Get Morty on the phone. He'll take care of everything.
This movie stars William Ragsdale once again as Charlie Brewster, with Roddy McDowall once again reprising his role as Peter Vincent. Then we got Tracy Lind as Alex Young, Julie Carmen as Regine Dandridge. Not to fucking spoil that. John Grease, who is Uncle Rico.
Fucking Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite, yeah.
As Louie. And Brian Thompson as
Dude,
Bosworth.
he was the werewolf, wasn't he, in Monster Squad? So now he's played a werewolf and a vampire?
Oh, yeah. That was him. And the vampire that he plays in this movie is kind of werewolfy.
Mm-hmm. Very wolfy.
Wolfy.
He's climbing the walls.
You got to come down. Your friends are here.
Put away your lipstick.
Brian Thompson plays Bosworth. Brian Thompson is one of those guys who
he's my
got
cousin.
A face. He's got a face that is so recognizable.
Yeah.
Then there's Ernie Sabella plays Dr. Harrison. Ernie Sabella played
fucking Mr. Carosi on Saved by the Bell.
He did. He played Mr. Carosi. He also played. He was on Perfect Strangers. He owned.
Oh yeah, he was the boss, right?
Yeah, Mr.
In like the old episodes, right? When he worked
Yeah.
at it was like an antique store or something
Yes.
before they worked for the newspaper.
Yep.
That's right.
You know your perfect stranger.
I do. He was also the naked guy on the subway in Seinfeld.
He was. That episode was just on the other day, by the way. Cast was where is he? Oh, Mr. Twinkasetti.
Yeah, that's right.
Twinkasetti. What a fucking
That's
name.
a fucking name.
Yeah. He was only in the first 2 seasons. And remember they had the girls that lived next door to them in Perfect Strangers, and they were
Yeah.
like dating them, and then they were gone.
Oh,
Why did they
disappeared?
change it?
Well, did they bring him back later? Because they ended up getting married in this show and having kids with them.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't
Mary
think so.
Ann and what was the other chick's name? What was Larry's girl's name? Mary Ann was with Balky.
Jennifer?
Jennifer, yeah, Jennifer was. With
Yeah, but
Larry.
that was season 2 through 8. Season 1 through 2, there was 2 different
okay.
girls.
I thought you were talking about those girls.
No, I think there was 2 different girls.
Oh, okay.
But maybe
God,
you're right.
that was such a good show. I loved Perfect Strangers.
Like the first couple of seasons were good.
I watched that, dude.
And that's
I
where
watched that
Harriet
shit all the way to
Winslow
the
came
end.
from. That's where Harriet Winslow from fucking
That's right. She was the elevator
Urkel.
operator at
Yeah.
the Chicago Chronicle.
yeah. Dude,
I'm telling you, man, I watched the shit out of that show.
apparently. Mr. Twinkasetti, but you didn't know Twinkasetti's name, so fuck
I
you.
did not. That's true.
Okay, but we did know Ernie Sabella's like whole fucking IMDb page. Apparently, it's like he was the naked guy on Seinfeld. He was this guy. Runtime of the movie 103 minutes. Budget was $8 million. What was the box office?
8 million.
8 million.
Shit. That's a low budget, but I don't think it recovered. I'm gonna say it made 4 or 5.
$2.9 million was
Owie.
the box office.
Hotbox.
VHS box. Do you remember this?
Absolutely, I do.
What did it look like?
Well, I think there's 2.
There is 2. There's a UK version, which is the cooler of the 2.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
that
the
one's
one that
way
kinda looks
cooler
like
'cause
the
it looks a lot
original.
like it's a throwback to the first one.
Yep.
It's like an apartment building with like a demonic ghost face vampire thing.
Yes. But then there's
But
the US
but
one.
the US one is shitty. It's like a white box with like the profile of a woman vampire, if I recall.
Yeah, it's got 2 female eyes that have like what do they call that? A smoky eye.
Wow.
And it's got the lips, the female lips, and then the fangs coming out. And it just says Fright Night Part 2. And the Part 2, the Roman numeral 2 is like 2 stakes.
That's
Like
cool.
wooden stakes.
Yeah.
At the top it says the tagline says, "Do you have a taste for terror?" Fright
I
Night
do.
Part 2. And at the bottom it says, "The suckers are back."
Oh wow.
Which I thought was stupid.
It's really dumb.
What a dumb line to say.
Fucking
I don't know what the
tagline
ori-
guy though at the studio was like, I came up with that.
Back of the box. Welcome to Fright Night Part 2. Peter Vincent, Roddy McDowell, the great vampire killer, and Charlie Brewster, William Ragsdale, are back in the long-awaited sequel to the box office smash hit Fright Night. And so are the bloodthirsty creatures of the night. By the way, Charlie Brewster is misspelled on the back of the box.
Oh really?
In the movie, it's spelled
L-E-Y.
L-E-Y.
Right.
On the back of the box, it's L-I-E.
It's spelled the way it should be spelled.
Yep. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Charlie has just met Regine Dandridge, an exotic, heart-stopping beauty with a deadly taste for things warm and red.
Fucking werewolf lipstick.
He can't stop thinking about her, dreaming about her. Not even Charlie's girlfriend, Alex, nor Peter Vincent can keep him from being mesmerized by her fatally seductive powers. Director Tommy Lee Wallace, Halloween 3, has surpassed the fright of the original film to create a tantalizing shocker in Fright Night Part 2. This time, the suckers want more than blood. They want revenge.
They fucking double dipped on the suckers thing.
Was it something in the first one?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I didn't look into it, but okay.
No, the 1st one's really,
break this
really
back
well
of the
written.
box.
They wouldn't have gone with that.
Let's break this back of the box down. First of all, like I said, Charlie Brewster is misspelled, so they didn't even fucking care about this.
Yeah, quality control is really lax.
They're back in the long-awaited sequel. Long-awaited, like people were like, fucking hey, when are we gonna get a sequel to Fright
I
Night?
want Fright Night 2.
Fright Night was a good movie, but I don't think I was ever like, oh God,
Chomping
we need
at
a
the bit
sequel.
for a sequel.
No.
Because they kind of wrapped everything up.
They did. Charlie has just met Regine Dandridge. Well, let's fucking spoil that. Isn't that
Holy
like
fuck,
kind of
they
a...
put her last name on the box?
Yes.
That's bullshit. And we don't find that out till like the very end.
Bullshit artist.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Bullshit artist.
That is fucking horseshit. We shouldn't... I mean, we don't find it out at the very end, but we
But
find it
towards
out
the end,
like towards the
two-thirds
end.
of the way in, probably.
Probably. I don't, yeah, that's stupid. She's got a deadly taste for all things warm and red. Well, you called it, because as I was reading this earlier, I thought, God, David's going to say something about a dog's dick. And you
She
fucking
loves
did.
dog dick. It's low-hanging fruit for me.
And then it's like director Tommy Lee Wallace, Halloween 3. Okay, I like the fact that they had said that he directed
They acknowledge
Halloween 3.
yeah.
Has surpassed the fright of the original film.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's bold.
Surpassed?
Not according to the box office receipts.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Is like this is the
This
VHS
movie was already
copy.
released. This is the VHS.
Exactly. This movie was already out. Don't tell us that this is the long-awaited sequel.
That
Like we
surpassed
know
the original. Come on
we know
now.
what the box office receipts are.
Fucking Balky's
All right.
like, don't be ridiculous.
It's been 3 years since the first events of the first film. Charlie is now in college. He's no longer in high school.
No, he's all grows up.
His friend is dead.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what happened to his girlfriend. She went on Married with
We
Children.
never find out. She just got out of the picture.
Charlie has been going through psychiatric therapy, and
Yep.
his doctor is fucking Twinkasetti. And he's been convinced through therapy that Jerry Dandridge, Chris Sarandon from the first movie, was just a serial killer
Yeah, but not a vampire.
who dressed up like a vampire, pretended to be a vampire, but not really a vampire.
Right. Even though he turned into a bat and shit and,
But he's saying that they convinced him that it didn't really happen, that it was just all figment of his imagination.
yeah. And also Peter Vincent's imagination.
Group hypnosis.
Yeah. Yeah.
We do
all right.
get a cool little like montage, if you will.
quick little
of the
recap
events
of the events of the first movie. Yeah.
yeah, which I kind of enjoyed because I was like, what the fuck happened in that movie?
Yeah, I liked that too.
been
But
a
I was
while.
also skeptical right off the bat. I was like, wait a minute. Charlie's convinced that like none of this happened. Oh,
Yeah.
all right. I'll suspend my disbelief a little bit, I guess. But we find out that Peter Vincent and Charlie haven't spoken, I guess, since the events of the first movie. So the doctor's like, you should probably patch things up with him.
Well, yes, and we come to find out too that Peter Vincent actually still believes, because he didn't go to psychotherapy apparently.
Yeah, he thinks everything was real.
He's still the host of Fright Night though.
Yep. But he goes off the rails. Like, he goes off script and shit and, like, really pisses off his producer, Morty, whatever his last name is.
Morty, fucking Morty Engelberg.
Yep. Pisses him off. But yeah, he's, like, talking about vampires and how they're real and stuff.
Yep, but Charlie and his girlfriend Alex, because he's got a new girlfriend now.
And she's like a
Charlie-
psych major.
Yep, and he's like, she says you should go patch things up. I agree with Twinkasetti, and let's go visit him. So they go
Yeah.
over to Peter Vincent's house, and they have some drinks with him. And he's like, "Hey, you guys, these fucking vampires are real." And they're like, "Okay, good story, bro."
Yeah,
Well,
they just
we're
kind of
gonna
play
go.
along. And they don't tell him, like, we don't believe you or anything. And then
Yeah.
they look out the window, or Charlie does, looks out the window of Peter Vincent's apartment and sees, very similar to the first one. We
There's
see
a lot of
coffin.
things that are very similar to the first one.
Instead of seeing one coffin, though, he sees like 3 coffins being unloaded. and then like a fourth person. And he's like, this is really weird. What the hell's going on here? And then when they go downstairs into the lobby, they come out of the elevator. They see some very garishly vampire-y dressed individuals.
Why is it that vampires are always either punk or like rock?
Yeah, or like, yeah, they look very, very conspicuous.
Like I would say goth, but goth kind of lends itself to vampires. But like when you see vampires in like 80s movies, like think of the Lost Boys.
Yeah, they got that look.
That punk rocker, like, or rock look, like wearing like jean jackets or leather jackets and shit.
Yeah. And then we have like three of them, and
mullets.
then one person who's dressed in a suit. So it's like, obviously that guy's like the lackey. He's the little sidekick
like
guy.
Yeah. But he's not little. That's that
No, he's a
Bosworth
big dude.
guy.
Yeah.
That's your cousin,
Yeah.
Brian Thompson. Charlie like makes eye contact with the head. Well, let's call a fucking spade a spade. They're vampires. And
But yeah, his eyes lock in like
I mean, we've already
focused
spoiled
on
it.
Regine.
We already know it's Regine Dandridge.
Yeah.
She's the sister of Jerry. I mean, what are we doing here? Like we already know this from reading the back of the fucking box. She's the sister of Jerry Dandridge, and she's coming to get her revenge. David,
Yep.
what do you think about that storyline? What a bullshit storyline.
It is. She waited 3 years.
It's such an easy. You talk about low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Like this is lower than the dick joke, the dog dick joke that you fucking pulled out that I knew you were gonna say. I don't know. Right off the bat, when I found out that, because I didn't know this, I didn't know any of this stuff. I don't know. Did you look any of this up
No,
before watching the movie?
I just let it all come to me.
I let it all come to me too. And the one thing that we'll get back to the plot of this movie, but the one thing that we touched on already was the beats are very similar to that of the first movie. You got
Very similar.
one character who believes and one character who doesn't believe.
It's basically the first movie, just some of the roles are reversed.
Yep.
Basically,
Exactly.
the girlfriend and boyfriend roles are flipped. So Charlie
Yes.
is more like the girlfriend in the first one. And the
Amanda
girlfriend
Beers.
is more
Yep.
like the Charlie role, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's even a dance scene.
Yeah, and it even uses the same music, if I'm not mistaken. The music was
Does it?
very familiar. I don't know if it was the same music that was in the dance scene, but that music was in the first movie for sure at some point.
There's even the dance scene. And then there's even a little bit of comedy here and
there's
there.
quite a bit of funny parts.
Yeah, there's funny parts, but it's not like a flat out comedy, you know? It's not like fucking slapsticky or whatever.
It's more of a chuckle.
Yeah. Uncle Rico kind of provides that.
You're right.
So, I mean, there's just more vampires than the first movie,
Pretty much.
and she's come to get her revenge. And what her plan is that she's going to kill Roddy McDowell, and she's going to turn Charlie into a vampire to keep him alive forever so she can torture him forever.
Right.
Because he killed
Killed her brother.
All right.
We don't
So-
learn that until pretty far into the movie, but
No,
yeah,
but
that's
I will
the
say
plot.
something. This movie is slow. It's kind of long to get there.
Yeah, what did you say the runtime was? Close to like hour and 45 minutes?
103
Yeah,
minutes.
it probably could have been an hour and a half.
Yeah, we could have shaved 15 minutes off of this and been okay.
Yeah. But
So,
Charlie
yeah.
sees her, like their eyes lock, like there's some sort of connection right away. And then they drive, Alex and Charlie are driving. I think he's taking her back to her dorm because she's got a quiz or a test or something in the morning. And Charlie's super horny.
Yeah,
at
he
this
wants
point.
to fuck.
Yeah, so he just pulls over. Like he doesn't even like go up to like the door of her dorm. He's like a couple blocks
He's like-
away, I think. And he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, come here, baby."
Yeah, and as he's kissing her, he starts to imagine that she is Regine.
And we see,
he's-
and I don't know if this was real or a hallucination. I think this was real. Regine like lands on the roof of the car, and she's like kind of
Humping
listening.
the roof. She's like,
Yeah,
and Charlie sees that it's actually Regine that he's like making out with, so he pulls away real quick, and then it turns back to Alex, and she's like, "What the fuck, Charlie?
yeah. What are you
Get the
doing?
fuck
Why are you getting all
off me."
handsy? Fucking octopus.
No means no, dick."
Yeah. Getting
Well,
all
she goes
handsy.
in. She goes
I'm
into
outta
her
here.
room. Yep, she leaves. Meanwhile, the other vampire, she passes some chick in the hallway, I guess, and this chick gets.
And this is a
eaten.
different vampire.
Yeah, this is the one like punk rock vampire. The
Fucking roller skating punk.
yeah, that's right. He was
She's on roller
skating,
skates a lot
wasn't
in this movie.
he? Yeah, and she gets eaten. Killed.
Yeah, and it's a very Nightmare on Elm Street kind of sequence too. Like the vampire, runs his fingernails across the lockers, and then roller skates up.
and it's like in slow motion.
Yeah,
It's like really,
rolls up
I don't
on this
know.
chick and kills her.
Yeah, and the other thing that one thing I didn't like about that kill though was we didn't even know who this chick was.
Yeah, it was just like a random student. It wasn't
It
like a
would've been-
friend of hers or anything.
I even said as I was watching this, I go, it would have been better had they established, like, even if she would have gone, "Hi, Alex," and Alex would have been like, "Oh, I got to go study," and she's like, "Me too. See you later," and then she gets killed, right?
Yeah.
That would have been some kind of connection, but there was nothing.
Right. It was just like a total random
Rando.
person.
And then Uncle Rico's climbing the side of her building.
Yeah, he's
to
like
get to
scaling the
Ale-
walls of the dorm as a wolf.
Yeah, and then he's got like his big old wolf claws in her window, and she just closes the.
She doesn't even
window.
see him. She's just kind of looking to the side and shuts the window right in his hands.
Yep, and he falls. Oh,
Yep,
we do get a gratuitous booby shot here
we do.
for no
Can't remember,
reason.
was it Alex's boobies or is it just a
No.
random person? Just a random
It was just
chick?
a random room. Like they didn't even like expound on like
room
those
that
girls
was?
didn't get killed or anything.
Yeah, just
They
random
were just
boobies.
like, yeah, just random boobies. Oh boy. Anyway, so Charlie goes back to his house, and he had like cut himself shaving
Yeah, on his neck. Uh-oh.
on his neck. Well, he goes to sleep, and he has a dream that Regine comes to him.
Yeah, and I at least thought this was originally set up pretty well because it's not set up like it's a dream.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wakes up later and then we realize it's a dream, but she comes
We
to
get
his
a couple-
dorm.
By the way, we get a couple of these American Werewolf in London dream within a dream within a dream segments, and I was like, oh, I don't even know what the fuck's real anymore. But she actually really does come to him, and she does suck on his blood and like turns him into a vampire, and she uses that cut so she doesn't have to like
Like
fang
bite him. She just gets a little taste. She just kind of dips just the tip.
yeah, just the
Just the tip of the,
She's
the
just
fang
soaking.
into the cut and drink that
Yeah,
blood. But
so
he
he's gonna-
thinks it's a dream. We later find out it wasn't.
No. And then Alex comes back over and they fuck. And she's like, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have been
Yeah, they
so.
apologize to each other. But right off the bat, Charlie's different. Like he's got a light sensitivity. He's wearing sunglasses like indoors. Like
Yep.
the bright lights are really bugging him. So it's like we know as the audience, like that was
And
real.
doesn't he like, I don't know where it is, but he orders a pizza and the woman's like telling him how she makes it. And she's like, and I use the very best garlic. And he's
like
like,
a whole clove, and he's like garlic. Oh.
what else happens? Peter Vincent gets fired from his job. This Regine chick like gets his job.
Oh yeah.
Charlie thinks that Regine is a vampire because he sees her with a friend of his, and he follows
Richie,
them.
and he follows him because he's supposed to go to like a symphony to like make up with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, when he's not feeling well, he goes back to his doctor, and the doctor's like, you just need to exercise. You should go bowling. So he's like bowling with the sunglasses on. He's like, woo, I'm really throwing
Yeah.
strikes today. He's having fun. And then that's when the girlfriend comes and she's like, hey, I want to go to this concert, but you seem kind of odd. Like, are you not up to it? He's like, no, absolutely. Let's do that. But then he goes back to his dorm, and because he's like turning, sleeps like all day, and he wakes up. He's like, oh fuck, I'm supposed to be at this symphony thing. So he like speeds over there, and as he pulls up, he sees the vampires are also there, and he's like, oh shit. And he sees him talking to his buddy, and his buddy like goes off with him, so he blows off the concert and follows them over to the apartment.
And he sees that one roller skating vampire and Regine like fucking molesting this guy through the window, and he's like, oh fuck, they're gonna turn him into a vampire. So he goes and gets Peter Vincent, who lives at the same apartment complex, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, we gotta go bust into this. And so they get like all their accoutrements, right? Their stakes and their shit, and they go bust in there, and it's just a fucking costume party.
Yeah, and this is the scene that's like kind of a callback to part 1 where we get a little dance between Regine and Charlie.
And this is the scene that I remember seeing on TV.
Oh, okay.
This dance scene. This is why when this came on, I had a memory of this. But yes, it's this dance scene. So Regine comes out and she does this like fucking
little seductive dance.
Yeah. What did the back of the box say? She was very seductive and she liked wet red
Something
things.
about dog dick. Yeah. Well, speaking of dog dick, while this is going on, Uncle Rico, the werewolf vampire guy, he bought the extra ticket because Alex is like stood up by Charlie, so he goes with her to the show. And then I like when they're walking out, he goes, "How about that classical music? Tits, huh?"
Yeah,
so I call the music tits.
That's what I'm saying. Like he provides a little bit of the comic relief, but yeah. So he's trying to like worm his way in there with Alex, and at first it's like he's doing it to kill her and eat her, but then he's like, I don't know. He's kind of like
into her.
smitten. Yeah. So Charlie is like, oh, she's just a performance artist. Like she takes out her fake teeth and she takes out her contacts, and he's like, I was wrong all along. And then even Regine goes, oh, it's good to hear that you actually did think I was a vampire, because that makes me think that I'm doing things right.
I'm doing a good job. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, I got to go to this fucking concert. So,
yeah, he's like, oh shit, Alex, I got to go to this concert. Fuck. Bye. Peter, you stay here and party with these people who aren't vampires, apparently.
Yeah. So Peter stays, and then it's like that moment in movies where they're looking around, they're like, huh?
Yeah, Peter sees a bunch of weird shit, just like people like biting people, and he's like, this does seem
So he uses
odd.
the mirror of his cigarette case, and he tries to see the reflection, and he can't see Regine's reflection in there. So he's like, so he bugs out of there, but then she corners him, and this is where she reveals to him, I'm Jerry Dandridge's sister, and I'm going to kill you and Charlie. So he goes back into his house, and he's like, I got to find Charlie. I got to find Charlie. So he goes hunting down Charlie, and Charlie's like apologizing to Alex.
That's right. Yeah,
somehow
Peter
or
like
another.
interrupts the apology to tell him like, oh, she's a real fucking vampire. No reflection.
And he's like, you're nuts. But
I like that Peter Vincent, like, he's like, all right, you don't believe me? You're on your own. See ya. And he goes back to his apartment, packs up all of his shit, and gets the fuck out of there.
Yep, he gets the fuck out of Dodge. And Charlie goes and visits his psychiatrist. He goes to talk to his psychiatrist again, but he overhears on the news that the body of his buddy had been found.
And he's like, oh shit, he really is dead. Maybe
Yeah.
Peter's telling the truth.
And this Louis guy is stalking Alex, this Uncle Rico.
Yeah.
He's stalking Alex, and they're at the library together. And Alex.
Oh, real quick, before this though, Charlie follows that Bosworth guy, the like lackey dude. He follows him to the apartment complex, and it's like he goes down and he actually finds Regine's coffin. And then she fucking True Bloods him, like she like glamours him or whatever.
Yeah, because he was gonna stab her.
Yeah,
And she opens her eyes.
puts him under a little love spell.
Yeah. But anyway, getting back to the library, Alex is studying in the library. Charlie meets up with her, and he's like, look, I'm sorry, but some shit's going down. And this is where Uncle Rico shows up. And Uncle Rico is like, makes his intentions known and the fact that he's a vampire.
And he's super rowdy because he's fresh off of the vampires went bowling and killed all the people that worked at the bowling alley and like bowling with their heads and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, he shows up. He's like, yeah, I'm a vampire. I'm going to kill you now.
And Alex, meanwhile, has been kind of like, well, I'm going to find out more about this vampire stuff because apparently my boyfriend really likes it. So she reads the entire fucking Bram Stoker's
She's like
Dracula.
a speed reader.
Yeah, she's all.
She was like using her hand. Was like, It was like she was like scanning the pages with her hand.
Dude, what she was
what the
doing
hell's this chick doing?
I was telling my wife, I was like, speed reading fascinated me when I was young. Like, I wanted to be a fucking speed reader.
Me too.
And I would try, but all I would do is just go like this. And I was like, I didn't get anything.
Yeah, nothing is sticking.
I saw a couple of words and I was
You're
like,
like,
I didn't get it.
Dog dick.
I'm just making shit up at this point. So, what the fuck else happens? Oh,
Well, because she's been reading up on the vampire shit. When the vampire attacks them, she grabs like roses or something that Charlie had given her and stuffs them in the vampire's mouth, which I never knew. Apparently, like roses, vampires don't like roses in their mouth. I don't like roses in my mouth either, but whatever.
But it especially hurts vampires.
Yeah, and the vampire's like, "Ah!" and he fucking jumps out the window.
Yeah, he goes running away. Alex and Charlie. Oh, and then all of a sudden they're arrested. Charlie
Which I
and
didn't
Alex.
quite understand, like, what for? Did the vampire werewolf guy, did he go tell the police, like, hey, these two people stuffed roses in my mouth, they assaulted me?
Or was it because they were making a scene in the library?
I don't know. I didn't quite understand what they were arrested for.
Well, they get arrested. Peter Vincent also sees that Regine has taken over his job at Fright Night, so he's like, "Fuck this!
I'm going down to the set,
and I'm
my
gonna
badge
kill her."
still works. They'll let me in.
So he goes down to the set, and he's gonna kill her live on TV.
He fucking rushes her with a stake.
And everybody's immediately there, pulls him off, and they arrest him. And then they're like, he's mental, so they send him to a fucking state
psych
hospital,
ward.
like
Yeah.
instantaneously. No trial.
Yeah,
no
I thought
nothing.
that too. I was like, what? They just
They just fucking
put him
commit
away.
him.
Yep, you're committed, my friend.
He goes to the hospital. Charlie gets bailed out of jail by Regine, and she like glamours him again and takes him back to her lair. Alex gets bailed out by Twinkassetti.
Which I didn't understand, because like at this point, those two had never interacted. At least I don't think we'd ever seen.
She was studying psychology, and he's the psychology teacher.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll allow it.
Who I know. I'm explaining a movie that is so dumb, but anyway. So Twinkassetti picks her up, and he's like, well, we got to go talk to Peter Vincent or whatever. They find out that he's been
Yeah, because
put in
he
the
kind
state
of believes
hospital.
her. I guess he's like, all right, we'll go to Peter.
Well, he
Vincent.
does.
This is most irregular.
Yeah, well, he does believe her, but because he's a fucking vampire
Yeah.
also, which we find out because he makes his true colors known, and he's going to attack Alex, who
Now, I have
thwarts
a question about this. When did the doctor become a vampire? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like we've seen this vampire during the day on multiple occasions.
Yeah, it was probably after we saw that. I don't think he was a vampire all along.
But okay, so he was a new vampire.
Yeah, Regine had
She had just
changed
turned him. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll allow that as well.
Proceed.
Continue.
So Alex kills him.
Yes.
And he has kind of a funny death.
This scene is pretty funny, like because there's kind of
like
a
the
struggle.
Paul Rubens. It's kind of a Paul Rubens death in
Yes, very much so. Very Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like she grabs a railroad tie and kind of fashions it into a stake, stabs him in the chest, and he's like, oh God, that really hurts. I don't think you pushed it in far enough. I'm not dead. Can you just a little help here? Can you push it in a little bit more? And she's like, oh, and he's like, never mind. I'll do it myself. He fucking pushes it the rest of the way through, and he fucking dies.
Yep. She gets in the car. She takes like his badges and stuff like that. She gets into the car and she heads over to the state hospital, and she pretends to be him, like Dr. Twinkassetti or whatever this fucking name was. She pretends to be him. And she gets
And because she's a
access.
psych major, she uses a bunch of like doctor terms and stuff. And they're like, okay, this seems suspicious, but all right. And she's like, oh, you give me shit because I look young? Because I'm young and I'm hot? You hate hot chicks?
So she goes and rescues Peter Vincent and gets him out of there. There's a little bit of a fucking moment there where one of the mental patients also like helps them out.
He like helps them break out.
Yeah. So they go back to the apartment and get Charlie, but Charlie's entranced by Regine, right? And,
And they'd also, Alex and Peter Vincent had gone to like a church and they got a bunch of holy water. They're like, they gear up and
Stocking
then
up.
head over to the apartment. And I like one of the things he's got is like a bug sprayer, I think is what it was, or maybe for like weed killer.
Yeah,
But the little
like
thing
a
that you
backpack
spray,
sprayer.
and he's filled it with holy water.
That's cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's always using his noggin, that Peter Vincent. They get to Regine's place, and Charlie's they get caught, and Charlie is going to kill Alex.
And they do kill that Richie guy, Charlie's old friend. He's a vampire now, and he comes after them. They spray him with the bug sprayer thing and melt his face.
Yep. And Charlie is about ready to kill Alex, and then she's like, Charlie, I love you. And Charlie snaps out of it magically.
Yeah, he kills Uncle Rico.
It's the power of love. Then Huey Lewis's song comes on.
It's a curious thing.
So they
when he shoots, he kills that Charlie guy, or not Charlie. He kills Louis
Bell,
Uncle Rico.
Well, yeah, Uncle Rico.
And when he shoots him, doesn't he like fly out of a window into a fountain or something? And then he like sits up and he goes, "Bullseye, dude!" And then
yeah, something like that.
So cheesy,
stupid. And then that Bell character with the roller skates, he gets it. And then the fucking big guy who was like the henchman, who's been eating bugs this entire movie.
Oh yeah, Bosworth. He gets killed by getting his guts sliced open, and then his stomach splits open, and all these fucking bugs like
crawl
mealworms
out, like
and shit.
Yeah, he's like fucking Oogie Boogie, and
snake eyes.
And as they fucking crawl out of him, he just like deflates.
Yeah. Oh, that was gross.
It was fucking awesome looking though.
It was really cool, but I didn't understand the bugs, like, because that guy was human.
He was bugs, dude.
He's full of bugs. Oh, because he'd been eating so many. I guess that was the contents of his stomach.
Yeah.
Fucking nasty.
No, it wasn't the contents of his stomach. It was him. He was made of bugs.
So gross.
It was disgusting. Regine gets, I don't know, she turns into a bat and flies away. I don't know. Something happens. And she ends up going down. She's going to try to get into her
coffin, which is like in this, like the basement of the complex. Or so she gets into an elevator, but they stop the elevator and trap her. And then Alex and Charlie, I think, go down to the basement because Charlie already knows where the coffin is. They line it with communion wafers so that she can't get in. Which I was like,
fucking communion wafers do something now? Like, I mean, I guess anything from a Catholic church?
I guess so. And Peter Vincent, he's up top, like,
by the way,
trying to get into the elevator.
Catholic Church. Okay, that's who has the holy water all the time, right? Like that's not other churches. That's mostly Catholics. Toilets in a Catholic church. Has that water been blessed?
I don't know.
I mean, the whole church has been blessed, so even a toilet has holy water.
Holy shit. Take a dump in there?
Take a dump in there?
You look at it, you're like, God damn, that thing's huge.
Yep. And
that's where holy shit came from.
You throw it at a fucking vampire? That'll hurt him.
It burns into that pink eye.
No, it's just shit. That's why I'm complaining. It's not because it's burning me.
What is that, corn?
Did you eat a black Whopper?
Oh, it's green. Oh, it's cone.
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
So they line the communion wafer thing. And then she breaks out and she's going to kill him and whatever. Peter Vincent's upstairs and he can kind of see through the elevator shaft now. And he grabs a mirror and he does the reflection of the sunlight.
Yeah, because the sun's coming up.
And he hits her. Which, isn't that the same way Jerry Dandridge dies in the original one? The sun comes out and they kind of punch
The sun
holes.
does kill him. Yeah, holes in the church or wherever they are. I can't quite remember. But yeah, you're right. A beam of light shines like onto her arm or something. She's like, ah, fuck. And she like pulls away. And then Charlie grabs her and like pulls her into the light.
Yep.
And fries her ass.
Yep. She did.
Her face melts. I think doesn't she catch on fire?
Something like that.
Yeah. She bursts into flames and like melts.
Then it's like the next day and Charlie and Alex are like laying on the lawn.
They're like laying out there. He's got his fucking corduroy pants on. Yeah. Just living the good life.
And they're like, oh, what are we going to tell our kids? I don't know. They say some stupid bullshit line. And then the movie's over.
Yeah.
David, what did you think of this movie?
I got a feeling I liked this movie more than you did. I actually, maybe it's because I went in with very low expectations. Like I was expecting this movie to be terrible, and I was surprised that I did not find it terrible. It's not great either. It's basically an inferior rehash of the first one. The first one is a far better movie, better acting, more interesting characters. That's my biggest problem with this one is that the Regine character we don't really know anything about her other than the fact that she's a vampire. What made Jerry Dandridge interesting in the first one is that Chris Sarandon's character is kind of like a fully realized guy. We see different facets of him. We see him being fake and like, you know, trying and getting friendly with people close to Charlie to fuck with him more. And like, we didn't really get glimpses of that in this one, but not a whole lot.
No, and the fact of the matter is like the back of the box spoils it for you right away. But it's like we didn't even get her like there should have been more interaction between her and Charlie that causes Charlie to like fall in love with her. He's just
instantly hooked.
Yeah, which is dumb.
Yeah,
we could use a half an hour to set up him falling in love with her and becoming obsessed with her, and then reveal that that's been her plot all along.
Yeah. But we don't have like the Evil Ed character in the first one. Like he was better comic relief than the
Uncle
John
Rico.
Grise character. It's everything we've seen before, but it was better the first time. So it's kind of a pointless sequel. I did like some of the special effects, like with the vampire's faces melting, and some of that shit was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, the bug guy.
Yeah, and you said the budget was what, $8 million? I thought, that's a
$8
pretty
million.
low budget. I mean, for what they did, I think they did quite a bit with a little bit.
Yeah.
There was some good camera work too. I liked some of the like just the way things were framed and some of the, like the way some of the scenes were shot. I thought looked cool, but overall, it's just not a necessary movie. And so I was kind of between a 2 and a 2.5. I think I'm gonna go 2 on this one.
Well, we're not that far off. I gave it 1.5.
Okay.
So it's 1.75 overall. And I gave it 1.5 because of the special effects, I think. Everything that you said. It's pointless.
It's the same movie, just not as good.
It's the same movie. And you know what? Like, Evil Dead 2 is the same movie as Evil Dead 1, but it's better. And they added something to it and made it something better. And, made a sequel that's rehashing the first one, like almost literally. But Fright Night 2 doesn't give us anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's the same story. Every role is reversed. Instead of a boy vampire, it's a girl vampire. Instead of a girl being seduced, it's a boy being seduced.
Right.
It's just the same fucking bullshit over and over again. So I think there was an opportunity there, though, that they could have made, even given the same characters. If you want to say,
like
we
the
want
Peter Vincent character is a really great character. And even Charlie, I actually like Charlie as a character. In this one, he's, kind of vampire-y most of the time.
Yeah. But you could still do the same basic storyline, same basic story with Regine getting revenge for her dead brother and all that other kind of stuff, and make it to where she's the actual real powerful vampire in the family. And
yeah, because she's the bad guy, but she doesn't really do anything super evil in the movie.
No, but I do like the idea that she's like, I'm not going to kill him. I'm going to turn him into a vampire so I can torture him forever.
Yeah, I like that too.
That's fucking badass.
Real power move.
Oh, fuck. That's awesome. So, as much as I don't like the movie, there's elements to the story that I think, wow, they really could have made something better.
Yeah, I was just expecting this movie to be a total dumpster fire, and I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't.
It wasn't
This was
a total
pointless.
dumpster fire. It wasn't a total dumpster fire. So 1.75. I don't know. If anybody out there has thoughts on Fright Night Part 2, well, keep them to yourself. But if you have thoughts on anything else, go ahead and reach out to us. How can they reach out to us, David?
Twitter, Facebook, The Slash Rap, TikTok, YouTube. Just search The Swearwolves. On Instagram, search The Swearwolves Podcast. You can go to our website, theswearwolves.com, and comment there. You can email us at contact@theswearwolves.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 623-282-1851.
So for the Swearwolves this week, I'm Brett.
I'm David.
And I got a dog dick.
Me too.